Rebel salute, rebel salute, rebel salute, rebel salute, salute. Ah, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, it's a simple question today for everyone. Whether you're a Kenya Kwanza, whether you're Azimio, whether you're independent. Why does Raila keeps on losing presidential elections? What's going on? Why can this man become president? That is the question for you today. Can somebody please answer me with this? I will put the link to the studio so you can join the studio and answer me. For if you're a follower of Raila Odinga, Azumio, or you're an opposer, why does this man keeps on losing elections? We want to look at this critically. Okay, share your sentiments with me. Here's the link for anyone and everyone. We want to find out. Link ndio hiyo. I want to find out why Raila Odinga keeps on losing elections because this is ridiculous. And most likely he's going to run again in 2027. For him to lose again, I don't know. I don't know. He is sixth time. Is this going to be his sixth time? Is the sixth time a charm, as they say? They say the third time is a charm. Is in his case, is this going to be the sixth time is a charm? I have no idea. We'll see. Join the discussion. Join the discussion. Join the studio. Studio by clicking the link below. Sorry. You don't have to if you don't want to. I know some people don't like getting on the studio. That's fine too. But the lines are open. The studio is open for anyone and everyone and everybody. Join in if you want to. It's your choice. You don't have to. We're not going to put a gun in your head. But again, we are going to explore this question. Why does Raila always lose presidential election? Is it by design? Or are there some powers outside the country that are kind of influencing what happens in Kenya? The Western powers? Is that the case? Or is it done by design? Or he just doesn't have proper planning? Which is it? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I am here. I won't be here for long, or maybe I might, depending on how it goes. This is pure freestyle today. I just want to find out because Raila has been running for president for a long time now. It's been how long? I don't know, since 1990, what, 92? Well, 1992 is when he ran for that place, what's the name? Kibera, Langata MP. He won. And he's been there since for a while. Then he started running for president in 1997. And since 1997, I understand 1997 he wasn't that popular. Okay, people knew who he was, but there were bigger guns. You know, there was Kibaki, there was Moi, there was Matiba. You know, and I think his dad passed away in 1994, I believe. But yeah, there were people who are more famous or more popular than him. So I understand why he lost in 1997. Then came in 2002. We know what happened with everyone rallying around Kibaki in 2002. For that, it was NAC or whatever the case is. And Raila had to leave KANU because, Moi alimruka to choose, and Moi went with Uhuru Kenyatta. So he joined the bandwagon and supported Kibaki in 2002. Kibaki became president. Then come 2007, where it is believed that he actually won. And by all indications, this man actually won because Kibaki only had Mount Kenya votes. The rest of the country, including Rift Valley, voted for Raila Odinga. But what happened? Government of National Unity. He ended up becoming prime minister with Bendera and red carpets and bodyguards with no power to show for it. That was it, just a prime minister. So he never became president. Then we promulgated the 2010 constitution, and we're living under a new dispensation, which we still live under right now, the 2010 constitution. Then he ran again in 2013. He ran against Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, who was deputizing Uhuru's presidency. And he lost. But again, there was evidence that Raila Odinga actually won in 2013. He just lost by a technicality in the Supreme Court in a decision that was very sketchy because, what's his name? Not Maraga, the previous, what's his name? SC, Chief Justice, sorry. I can see his face, but I forget his name. Whatever, the guy with one earring, I forgot his name. That's Chief Justice. You know who I'm talking about, before Maraga. He actually came out and just made a ruling on the case and said, I will give the reasons later. And a few months later or a few years later, he gave the reasons why Raila lost. And basically, Raila lost on a technicality. They say that he brought in some evidence that late. And yeah, I remember that because I used to watch, what's her name? One of the lawyers that were in this case was Mutula Kilonzo's daughter. I forgot her name is. Very brilliant lawyer that was arguing a case for Raila Odinga. I wonder where she ended up. Very brilliant lawyer, young lawyer at the time. His brother, of course, is the governor for, where is that? Uko, Apo. Is it not Machakos? Is it Machakos? Yeah, Mutula Kilonzo Jr. Yeah, but yeah, his daughter, I'm proud of that man, even though he was, he worked for Moi or whatever the case is. But yeah, her daughter was really bright. Was on Raila's side making the case, and she was actually stealing the show. But anyway, Raila lost on a technicality in the Supreme Court. And then we move on to 2017, the infamous 2017. Then Raila lost again. Well, he actually won, but there was evidence that suggested that the election that took place had some monkey business happening. There was results that were being shown that nobody knew where it was coming from. And from all indications, this 2017 elections was rigged, So Maraga did the right thing and declared it null and void and said we should have re-elections. But before having a re-election, there were some things that was to happen before we were to have a re-election. Part of it was restructuring of the IBC. The server was to be open, among other things. I highlight that because that was not respected. Uhuru went ahead and summoned the IBC at State House, talked to, what's his name, Chebukati, a man who's now famous in Kenya for all the wrong reasons. But anyway, he was summoned in the State House, and after that, there was an election on October 26th. It was Uhuru Kenyatta's birthday. What a travesty that was. Anyway, there was a re-election. Raila, of course, absconded because the conditions that were recommended by the Supreme Court, Chief Justice Maraga, were not met. The server was never open, and the server has never been open to this day. Okay. Anyway, so Uhuru ran against himself and declared himself president. Well, the people were upset, as you know. The country was upset because that was an affront to democracy. He was insulting Wananchi. So the Wananchi took up on the streets and said, we are going to declare Raila Odinga the people's president. Whether he likes it or not, Raila is going to be the president. We anaenda chukua kipao. Is that what they call it? We are going to swear him in, whether he likes it or not. So, watu walikutana Uhuru Park, as you remember. And millions upon millions, thousand upon thousand met at Uhuru Park and declared Raila Odinga the people's president. Okay? And said, Raila, kiti ni yako. You are the supreme leader of the Republic of Kenya, the president, the people's president of the Republic of Kenya. Raila showed up and was sworn in. Then after that, he got into his Range Rover, bulletproof Range Rover, and drove off and left the people hanging. The people travel from all over the world, all over Kenya, corners of the country. They were going to take out Ruto. That was the plan, as now we later found out. But Raila left and phoned Uhuru Kenyatta and told him, hey, listen, this thing is out of hand. Miguna is in his gang, and these Kenyans, they're wild now. I don't know. I'm not part of it. And Uhuru was like, hey, listen, kuja hapa tusikizane kidogo. Yeah? Raila went and met Uhuru, and there came the handshake. So Raila turned his back on the authority that the people of Kenya gave him. He ceased to be the people's president at that point because he gave all his power to Uhuru Kenyatta. He legitimized the illegitimate president Uhuru Kenyatta in 2017, 2018. And there was the handshake. They started calling themselves brother, brother, brother. And now Raila Odinga was enjoying the state's machinery, the red carpets, the posh cars, security, and all that, running around Africa, negotiating peace deals. You know, he was the AU ambassador of I don't know what. So there he was. He wasn't the president again. We made him president in 2017, but he chose to give it to the illegitimate president, Uhuru Kenyatta. Come 2022, the ground had shifted. He was seen as a traitor. He turned his back on most people, most Kenyans who actually put him there. Okay? Now with his handshake brother, Uhuru Kenyatta, who was ruling unopposed as a king, he didn't care. It was his last term. So he did as he pleased. He ruled with an iron fist, drove Kenya into debt. The high cost of living was up. The Kenyan shilling lost its value against the dollar. Maisha ilikuwa ngumu. But Raila dared not say anything. Never mention anything about the killings that Uhuru was behind of his own supporters. Never criticized Anne Waiguru and the others who were looting public funds. Never spoke about corruption. Never spoke about police brutality. Never spoke about the killing of Msando. Never mentioned about baby Pendo. Never mentioned about baby Mora. Never mentioned anything that the then government was doing wrong. Raila was quiet all through those 5 years, watching Uhuru Kenyatta plunder and drive Kenya into deep economic ditch. So 2022 came after they ostracized the deputy, sidelined him, propping up Matiang'i, the psychotic, corrupt maniac hailing from Kisii, who thought using brute force was the way. Matiang'i was the de facto deputy president at the time. William Ruto was ostracized, humiliated. The man was even kicked out of the presidential palace in Mombasa. You know, manguo zake zinatupwa. Shunned in public. Kenyatta didn't care. You know. So come 2022, Kenyans sympathized with Ruto. Ruto coined the phrase, the narrative, hustlers versus dynasties. And we as Kenyan, most people bought it. 2022 came after they ostracized the deputy, sidelined him, propping up Matiang'i, the psychotic, corrupt maniac hailing from Kisii, who thought using brute force was the way. Matiang'i was the de facto deputy president at the time. William Ruto was ostracized, humiliated. The man was even kicked out of the presidential palace in Mombasa. You know, manguo zake zinatupwa. Shunned in public. Kenyatta didn't care. You know. So come 2022, and we supported Ruto wholeheartedly, feeling that he was speaking for the common mwananchi, mama mboga, as they say, and they voted him overwhelmingly, 200,000 votes more than Raila Odinga and his brother. Some of us ask, what happened? Raila asked himself, what happened? What went on? Kanchori wrote a book telling us that the Jubilee Party, part of the coalition, of the Azimio coalition, played Raila. They made sure that they were not active in the Mount Kenya. They did not have agents in Mount Kenya. Just yesterday, there's rumors, people saying that they're now blaming, what's his face, the man from Sona. I forgot his name. Just yes, Junet Mohammed. They're saying Junet did not pay agents. So that's why agents were not everywhere where they were supposed to be, in every polling station. They're now looking inside, distrusting. They don't trust each other. Martha Karua seems to be like, I don't want to be part of this. And she has a plan B. She went and started Kamwene with Jeremiah Kioni. Okay? Kalonzo is looking at the horizon and saying, I just turned 70. And 2027, it's my turn to run for president. Raila Odinga is showing no signs of stopping. He might be 79, but he feels I still have one more shot in 2027 to become president. You see him doing his tour across the nation. He was in Lamu yesterday. Today he's still in the Coast Province. Last week he was in the Western and Nyanza. Try to strengthen ODM. ODM has become nothing but a regional party. Okay? It's a Nyanza party. It's not as huge as it used to be. Remember 2005, back then, when ODM had even Ruto there. Ruto was part of ODM. Uhuru Kenyatta used to be part of ODM. Kalonzo Musyoka was part of ODM. Now we have the Sifonas and a bunch of Luo Nyanza politicians who make up the ODM. So Raila's party has been reduced to a regional party. And the coalition seems to be cracking. There's cracks in the coalition. That's why they'll have an emergency meeting tomorrow to see the way forward, because Martha Karua is looking at the coalition and is saying, we can't keep on supporting Raila Odinga while we lose election after election. We are going nowhere. And at the end of the day, it's him who actually sits at the high table with the winner, while we remain in the fringes. So what is it? Why does Raila keeps on losing every presidential election? Is it done by design? Or is it foul play by the powers that be? As we know, Kenya is still being colonized by the Western powers, the British and the Americans. But if that's the case, Raila was quite famous in 2007. Raila was quite famous in 2017. He was the man, even if the Western powers supported his opposers, his competitor. Raila had enough, millions of supporters behind him who are enough to put him in that seat that he has been longing for. In fact, they did put him in 2017. They didn't care about the Western powers. They put Raila in, but Raila betrayed them. So I usually ask my friends on Azimio side, why would you trust this man to lead in 2027? How sure are you that he is going to be the president if he has tried 5 times before and lost? In fact, he has won and was given the throne, but he stepped down and gave it to his competitor. So why should we vote for him in 2027? Why? I'm joined with my very best friend here, Mr. Bro Benson, I see he has a fresh haircut.
How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. See you are ready to tear me down. So let's see what you have in mind today, my friend.
We were supposed to be having the senior counsel, but like he's committed somewhere, so that's how the online is.
Oh yes, I was actually, my plan was to finish up by 12 so I can join you, because I know you usually start around 12 and 1 and just watch your feed. But Paul Sana, I hope you guys reschedule or something, because
Yeah, we are working on the reschedulings. So
yeah. So what's going on? What's on your mind? I usually ask you what's on your mind because you're a man who is very, who is Professor wa siasa like Moi. So I just have to ask you what's on your mind. Whatever you want to talk about. This is freestyle.
I've seen you are talking uh about the Raila presidency,
Yes.
and you are asking the reason why maybe he has lost maybe several times, and still people prefer that he should be the president,
Yes.
or I mean to run for the presidency. I think one, maybe we have to talk of political processes. Maybe people feel that the political processes has not satisfied them. They feel like the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga most of the time, the the Electoral Commission, or the we call it the system,
Mm-hmm.
has not been on his side, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So that is one. And secondly is about our political parties. It's not only even Raila Odinga. It is all in all our political parties, whereby you find the founders of those political parties automatically will run for presidency.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the main reason. So it tells you that our political parties are not institutions, but
Right.
they are individual owned. Because if they were institution, for example, when you look at right now, we have the primaries. We are just about to go to primary election, especially for the GOP.
Oh yeah.
It's around the
USA.
corner. I saw DeSantos really dropped out of the race. Now we have Nikki Haley and Donald Trump, and
Yes.
Donald Trump is beating Nikki Haley by larger margin. So
Yes.
definitely, from look of things, uh, Donald Trump might be the flag bearer for GOP from
Yes.
from what we are seeing on that. So
Mm-hmm.
when you look at all these political parties, you will find like the person who runs the RNC, the Republican, who is in charge of the election and all the nominations, the running of the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
They do not hold any post. They do not run for any office.
Yes.
So that makes it so much independent. So if you are running for presidency, or you're running for any office, you are not allowed to hold any post in the political party, because that one you will have influence. For
Mm-hmm.
instance, how do you want to say, like, for instance, you're going for a nomination in a political party, yes,
Mm-hmm.
and you're competing against either His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, President William Ruto,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they're the people who are owning these political parties. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think the delegates will, even if the delegates, I mean, if the delegates vote for you, do you
Mm-hmm.
think they will allow you, yet he's the patron of the party, which means he has final say after
Mm-hmm.
everything? Do you think
Mm-hmm.
that one is going to happen?
No.
So I think for it to happen, not only for the Right Honorable or any other, the things that need to be done, like the political parties in Kenya must be kind of like institutionalized. Let's make them an institution whereby it is run independently. Yeah,
Right.
that anybody who is running for any political post should not host or should not have any political office, because
Mm-hmm.
this one happened even during the nomination. Take for example, Mbadi was the chair for ODM. By the same
Mm-hmm.
time he was running, before the negotiation, he wanted to become the governor of Homa Bay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So what if to say they went for nomination and he's the chair? How can you overrule the chair?
Right.
Yeah. So that is one thing that will keep on make all these leaders keep on running, because like
Mm-hmm.
and nobody would want to question that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because these are their own parties. First of all, they've built a fan base for these parties. They have a final say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
is another thing. They're the people who are funding. Yeah. Even if you pay or you pay the money, but the face of the party, yeah, matters a lot.
Right.
Yeah. So let's say for instance, there are those who are being elected. Some of them are not even known where they are running, but provided that you've passed that nomination
Mm.
and the banner of the right prime minister is there, automatically that will
You
give
will.
you will give you a win, but you're
Mhm.
not known, you
Right.
know. So
Right.
that's what is happening. That's why I think like we will keep on seeing the same people running for presidency.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was talking to Captain. Of course, he doesn't make it a secret he's a UDA fan. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I was just asking him about what's going on in Azimio,
Mhm.
because I understand they're going to have a meeting tomorrow. To iron out what's going on, because it seems like
Mhm.
this coalition, Kalonzo wants to run for president. Martha Karua is kind of, she sounds like one day she's hot.
Mhm.
And Raila is telling them, hey, Wacheniku, don't worry about 2027. He's
Mhm.
worried about, not worried, but he's working on recruiting people for ODM,
Mhm.
not even Azimio.
Mhm.
So, what do you think is going to be the main discussion there? Is it because there seems to be a cracks within Azimio, or what's going on as Azimio? I don't know if you're Azimio supporter or you're independent or UDA, but or just as a political expert,
You see, like
what's going on with them?
when you're in the media, even if
Mhm.
you are aligned to certain political affiliation, you need to be very neutral. The only time that you make decision at the ballot. But
Right.
what I would want to tell you, what is happening in Azimio, if there's cracks, those are things that are not new, especially ever since we came up with the coalition
Hmm.
kind of politics.
Yes.
And this is was manifested in when we first of all had the grand coalition,
Hmm.
where we had the the former president, the late president Moi Kibaki and Raila Odinga. Immediately they defeated Moi,
Yes.
because that's when that coalition came. And when the coalition came, their main aim, first of their main aim was to see on how to get Moi out of power for after 24 years. That was the
Hmm.
main goal, if very keen, and usher in a new dawn. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But as they were coming in coalition, each and every coalition had their agenda. Yeah,
Hmm.
because the agenda was how can we make uh, the prime minister post was supposed to be created. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you listen to Kiprito Arab Kirwa,
Hmm.
actually the person who was supposed to be the prime minister was supposed to be Ngilu.
Mm.
Yeah, Ngilu was supposed. And when the LDP came in,
Mm.
Ngilu said, if it takes uh, that to take Moi out of power, I can leave the prime minister post, and that was designated for the right honorable prime minister. So when we lived there, we
Hmm.
went and we came into grand coalition. The grand coalition worked well, but it still had its challenges. You know,
Hmm.
after the grand coalition, we had the COD and we had the Jubilee, we had the URP and TNA.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they did not last, and there were intrigues in them because they did not come for particularly to for the policies of the country,
Right.
but what
Or for convenience.
it was of convenience. And what brought them together, because they had a case in KICC, I mean ICC,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that one made them to come together, and that was the platform of campaign, and the majority of their tribesmen
Hmm.
really sympathized with them, and they say we are going to do that. But immediately that was done, there was that between him and deputy president. When we come into 2013, all that happened, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now after that, we had the CORD disintegrated, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Davadi and Kalonzo, everybody went their own ways. So what it tells you is this: the coalition sometimes their first priority is not about the ideology of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Their first priority is about capturing power. So after
Mm-hmm.
getting power, then what next follows? Yeah,
True.
because when you look at major developed countries, when you are a Republican, there are
Mm-hmm.
those conservatives, there are those things that you believe in that
Mm-hmm.
nobody can take them away from you.
Mm-hmm.
The same as Democrat.
Yes.
And there is no day you will find like the far left Republican will agree with the Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the far right
Right.
Democrat, they will agree. They will not agree. For instance, if you find we can talk about Republican does not believe in abortion,
Yes.
and you cannot convince them about that.
Mm-hmm.
That is what they believe in, and they always believe in. When
Yeah.
it comes to immigration, they are very tough on the immigration. There is a way in which they want it. Those are what they believe in. So there
Mm-hmm.
is no way in which they can reach a point whereby you find Democrat as a party and Republican as a party coming together and
Mm-hmm.
say, now we are forming a coalition to form the government. It will not work because they have what we call the principality, what is
Mm-hmm.
guiding them.
Mm-hmm.
The should I call it the traditions of the party? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even though with the coming of the President Trump, there was kind of some deviation a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Trump also came with this group
Yeah.
that they feel that Trump is picking some of the things that the Americans, especially the real Americans, were not able to speak. Trump can speak them loudly, and so that's how he created those groups. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but when you come to our country, it's all about power and looking at what population are you bringing,
Mm-hmm.
and the population you are bringing will determine what post are you given in the government.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's another thing. So first of all, it's not ideological. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Secondly, is centered about power. So
Mm-hmm.
thirdly, it's a vehicle that can move you from this place to this place. Once you reach the target, you leave the vehicle, get another vehicle, and you continue with it. That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
2027.
yeah,
Raila Odinga on the ballot
yeah,
is there.
no doubt.
Okay. Because to me, I feel like this. Raila Odinga is one of the strongest, in fact, the strongest, most famous politician in Kenya. Even I think he has more influence than Ruto by far. I think,
Mhm,
like I usually say, he's the last. What do you call? He belongs to that ile class ya kina Matiba,
mhm.
Shikuku. He's the last one left.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Mhm,
why he gets respect
mhm,
everywhere across the board, across Kenya. Okay,
mhm, mhm.
that's why I came up with this question today because he has the influence he needs. Like, what is the problem? Why? Why? What? He became the president. I,
It,
I I just don't know. Is it now? I don't know. That's why I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
you,
I'll let
you
you.
you see, there's no doubt of all the leaders or of all the political leaders that we have, even right now,
Mm-hmm.
on 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 face value,
Mm-hmm.
the only person that I feel can make the president Ruto right now to make calculation in his politic on strategies on how to win the 2027 election is Raila Odinga.
Yes.
One, because Raila Odinga has what we call the loyal fan base.
Yes.
His fan base love him to an extent whereby if he says this, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that most of the politicians do not have. And if you look at Raila Odinga's, the right prime minister fan base, is an organic. It's not bought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who just love him the way he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereby even if Raila is to give money or not to give money, or to bribe or not to bribe, they will always stick with Baba. They are
Mhm.
organic, and they've come with him from far. There is nothing you can tell them that Raila is bad and they will listen to you, or Raila is good. It's Raila. What
Yes.
they're waiting what Baba is going to say. This is vis-a-vis the other candidates, as much as they might be having, but theirs might be limited to the areas they are coming from.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not across the country.
Okay. All right. As I finish, let me ask you this. Ruto seems to there's a talks that Ruto might be he might have influence of co-opted the judiciary. I said in another platform that if tomorrow, no, tomorrow is Thursday, Friday,
Mhm.
if hiyo kesi ya affordable housing, if it goes Ruto's way, I will be convinced that Ruto has finally captured the judiciary, because that case, affordable housing case, it was already determined that it was unconstitutional. Then they went to appeal, and the appeal gave them 30 days to continue with it. So now Ruto akaanza kuita sijui judiciary sijui corrupt. Then they had that meeting with Koome yesterday or the day before. So I said the ruling is on Friday. If Ruto gets his way, I'll be convinced now he has captured the judiciary. Now, Wandai said that they'll be looking for a new coalition. They'll be watatafuta another coalition, join another coalition with somebody else. We don't know who it is yet.
Mhm.
Now, after he said that, I can see now ODM in particular are very active, strengthening their fan base,
Mhm.
which is traditionally, of course, Luo Nyanza,
Western.
Western,
Mhm.
and Mombasa. I mean, coast. Okay,
Coast. Mhm.
they're not strengthening it as Azimio, but as ODM. Okay,
Mhm.
my suspicion, and I might be wrong. You can correct me, or you can just give your perspective, whichever the case is.
Mhm.
Could it be that ODM, well, depending on how this meeting is going to go tomorrow with this Azimio meeting,
Mhm.
could it be that the ODM might be looking at maybe joining UDA, kwa Kenya Kwanza, and going on to 27? So, because I saw on the news today that Raila was saying that they should implement that your talks,
Mhm.
what was discussed on the talks.
Yeah.
And Ruto already said he's okay with that talks. Okay,
Mhm.
so could it be that these two going to 2027, Ruto will use that because he knows Raila is his biggest threat. Raila is the only one who can beat him, in my opinion. I think Kalonzo is not a match for for Ruto. So could it be that he's using this NADCO, aingize Raila kwa box? That way he will have Raila, who is his biggest neo competitor. Judiciary akishinda hilo kesi yake, he has it in there, na parliament ndio hiyo wasiwasi, he can always rubber stamp everything he wants, and he will have total control. Could it be?
You know,
Maoni yako.
uh, Thank you so much. The politics is about interest, and nothing is possible in Kenyan politics. Who knew? I've always said, who knew the former president Uhuru Kenyatta would be friends in public with the Right Honorable Prime Minister? I know behind the scenes they are good friends, because these are first families who fought for liberation of Kenya. You know, in behind the curtains they talk and they are good friends, but when it comes to politics in the public gallery, they say like there's that enmity. But everything is possible, because what will you do? That is how Kenyan politics is being played. Yeah? Because as I told you, it is not about the ideology, it's about the interest. you know and if you look at um, Kenyan politics is more of commercialized. The rate at which the money is being spent in the Kenyan politics, I don't think there's any other, even in the Europe or in America, it cannot be compared to how the money is being used in the Kenyan politics. So if it favors you,
Mm-hmm.
why not?
Right.
Yeah, because they've been friends before. He's
Yes.
not like they're not friends. They've worked together. They know each other well. They know each other's. They know. Actually, President Ruto knows the weakness of Raila and the strength. Raila the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and 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 the only person that I think right now is giving Ruto nightmare is only like Raila Odinga. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Who
Raila
is the
Odinga.
who is the next who is the next Luo kingpin if Raila was out? Let's say Raila retires, says, "Okay, I'm done with this. I'm going." Who do you see? I know you have more knowledge on Nyanza politics and intrigues.
I might not be very sure, but I would prefer Babu Owino. I would go with Babu Owino.
You think Nyanza wanaona Babu Owino is
You see, the reason why I would go with the Babu Owino, and I see Babu Owino as somebody who has courage,
Mhm,
and this is depicted whenever when people travel around the country, and Babu Owino is among those people. Let's say, like even in Central Kenya, and Babu Owino has not spoken.
mhm,
People
mhm.
will always demand for Babu Owino to speak.
Yeah.
And this is not even in Luoland. What about in Luoland? Because the reason why I'm saying that Babu Owino has coined himself,
Mhm,
he has made himself in Kenyan politics, especially with his wording, the
mhm.
Tibim, the Tialala, the Warembo High, the Warembo, yeah, which nobody is something that resonate well with everywhere Babu Owino goes. And if you listen to Babu Owino when he speaks in Kijaluo, you know the kind of words he's saying,
Eh,
which are going down well with the majority of Luo members, especially the young. So Babu Owino might be. To me, I think Babu Owino, and
you, you,
I would prefer Babu Owino.
you think even kwa ground wakina Otiende Amolo, they're not.
Now, let me tell you, my senior counsel Otiende Amolo is a good guy, but Otiende Amolo is soft.
You
Yeah.
think?
No, Otiende, there are people that we celebrate in Luo. Yeah,
Uh-huh,
we celebrate. We
uh-huh.
do celebrate Otiende Amolo of his
Mm,
brilliance. We also celebrate. There are so many of senior council members that we do celebrate in Luo. And if you want to know the people are so much celebrated in Luo, just go to some of these our uh, bus stops. Yeah,
uh-huh.
you will get them. You will see their names are there. Otiende Amolo Coach.
Mm.
There's also this lawyer. He's called. I just forgotten the name. I know he usually put on specs. He's also a very
O-
good lawyer. You will get.
Orengo? No, Orengo is a governor lawyer, but
Orengo is a governor lawyer, but like nowadays there's some interests that Orengo do make that makes me to say what is happening with
yeah,
the senior
yeah,
council.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I think like Orengo has danced too much on the floor
yeah.
and is forgetting the dance style. But he's one of our best. But sometimes Orengo makes some pronouncements that I feel like, what is happening with senior council, especially coming from him? Like,
Yeah,
especially when you listen to Orengo saying, if you see any UDA guy,
yeah,
no, those are some of the things that I do not want to expect from senior counsel James Orengo and the governor. Let those to be said by these young politicians who still wants to get a name in the political scene. Is now above that. He,
yes.
sh- he should speak maturely and promote that democracy.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I like Babu Owino, but I feel like he's still a little bit young. I still feel he's young. Uh my preference will be I like you say, senior councillor the Rarieda, honorable former Rarieda. Uh Mbadi is a very smart politician, but people don't. People say, I mean, in the ground, he's not that. Not everyone likes him.
You see, Mbadi too is a very brilliant, especially he knows how to debate, but
Yes.
he doesn't have that charisma
Oh,
to entice people. You cannot even. We have also Kaluma. These are people who
yes,
know.
yes, yes.
Kaluma is very good in talking. And even in bright brains that we have, Kaluma is one of them. but like Kaluma cannot attract the
Right.
crowd
Exactly. He doesn't have that charisma you're talking about.
charisma,
Yes.
as compared to Babu Owino. Otinda Molo is soft spoken, and when you want to be where we reason soberly, it's the
Yeah.
reason sober reasoning, and whereby you want to listen to good talks,
Eh.
then approach Otiende Amolo. I don't think Otiende Amolo can. Do you think Otiende Amolo can abuse somebody, or from the way you are seeing it, those insults? Do you think Otiende Amolo is that person?
No, but
We-
that's what makes him presidential or a leader. That's
Sometimes being cool is not. It cannot. Kenya sometimes is. You
it
need to
doesn't
be
work.
better. Sometimes you need to be rough like Babu Owino, who will say what he wants, and
It- that's
it reiterated with youth. So I don't think senior counsel Otiende Amolo can be there. But he's a good guy. He's a guy that we celebrate so much.
to me, I think that will be because he has that Mudavadi effect. If you are using, you know how people say Mudavadi is a calm head. Yes, he's soft, but he can't. But so I see senior counsel from Ragenda, Otiende Amolo. Yes, I think he's that type that he doesn't need to be rough. I think he can just attract people by. He has made a name for himself, like he's a household name. He can go to Mount Kenya and speak, and
Yes, he can go to
he looks
speak.
level-headed.
But the reason why Otiende Amolo did not make his name because of politics.
How did he
Otiende
make his name?
No, Otiende Amolo made his name because the way he argues his cases.
Which is even an advantage, don't you
An
think?
advantage, but from a political point of view, and Otiende Amolo, people think the senior counsel was not known when he participated in the when was it, the 2013 presidential petition that was in the Supreme Court?
Yes.
No, that's not when. Remember, Otiende Amolo was ombudsman for the longest time.
Ah.
Yes, Otiende Amolo, Kenyan ombudsman for the longest time. And when we were doing the 2010 constitution, Otiende Amolo were the experts.
Yeah.
Yeah, those the experts that were there when the constitution was being written. Otiende Amolo is one of them. So from there, that's where like majority of people came to know of Otiende Amolo.
The reason why also a character like Babu Owino might, Babu Owino is either you like him or you don't.
Yes.
That's the thing about people who are outspoken. If you're with him, you're with him. If you don't like his politics, you probably like. So that's what I'm saying. As somebody who's calm, he can go to Northeastern Huko, Auze Sera, and people will be like, you know what? This guy is, like, if they hear Tiala Latilili, what does
No, that Tialala, and that's what has kept Babu Owino. Let me tell you, that was
Yeah.
has kept Babu Owino. And another thing that actually makes Babu Owino might be because sometimes your life experience resonate when people see you from where Babu Owino came from, based on the stories that he's telling. How the mother used to sell the changa in the mtaa, and how all that, and see where Babu Owino is, and Babu Owino has branded himself, goes extra mile, offering even the some classes, and that's how you connect with the people,
Yes.
and that's what I would tell you, because I usually say there were three people, I mean two, that their political career, hata kama umesema vibaya aje, people will love them. There's somebody called Sonko. Sonko, people loved Sonko even before him giving money, because Sonko accepted his educational background and he was very proud of it. That is one. Another person was also Joho.
Yes.
You see those people? They accepted their background. They did based on academic level. They accepted that they're not there. But on the ground, the way people treated them, they had that effect that so many people do not have.
Yeah.
So that's something.
I want you to use your connection to get Babu Owino on your show. I know you have connection. Your reach is very fast. So I know he watches here, so Babu Owino, kuja kwa show bwana, wacha.
Babu Owino tutamsukuma hata kama wamtaki, but tutamsukuma.
So
I feel that Babu Owino should be the next
Nyanza watamchukua wote. He's taken over.
He will take over, but I don't think like people will like it. So one thing he has to know, he has to
in Nyanza.
No, but he might have the people, but the leadership.
Yeah, but if you have the leadership, if you have the people will choose you over the leader. Because I don't think, let's say, okay, for example, if Raila is not on the scene right now, because I think Raila is the only one who can actually stop him if he was rising up. Mm-hmm. But let's say Raila is not on the scene. Mm-hmm. Who really can, okay, even if they oppose Babu Owino with his fame right now, who can really actually subvert or try to stop his movement, given the people who like him?
Okay, what will happen if they try to do that? That is when you will the Nyanza mm-hmm. region or the Luo nation will be divided. There are people who will go with Babu, and the other people will go with whoever comes.
Yeah. But hey, Babu Owino, if you're listening, please, unajua blink kuanga hapa hivi, ingia. He follows me on X. So ingia.
So mwesh.
But yeah, I would like to talk to him. I like him. I just feel like he has still a few more years.
No, the Kings, when he doesn't have, because Babu Owino has really come from far. The Babu Owino of the first MP parliament, member of parliament, to the Babu Owino that we are seeing today, Babu Owino has really transformed.
Yeah, I would agree.
Babu Owino has really transformed, and even during the campaigns, because to me, Babu Owino is the best bet for us.
What would you think? Why he's been quiet of late? What's going on with him? I know there's 2-3 people who have been quiet, who have been criticized. Junet, Joho, Babu Owino. Babu Owino has not been in this ODM Neo. Where is Babu Owino?
Look me behind the tent, nikuambia.
Okay. Sawa. That's fair enough. But Babu Owino, hey bwana, Babu Owino, I know you are watching. Ndio link hapa hivyo. Ruka tu hata dakika mbili.
Tutamtafuta.
Anipatie kaboost kidogo, tuongee siasa, tuone vile Sakaja you'll defeat Sakaja. You think he's going to beat Sakaja?
He might. Nairobi is a cosmopolitan, so
yeah, I was asking Nani Captain that, and because Nairobi's ODM is strong in Nairobi, but the Luhya vote might be split there because Luhya support ODM, most of them, but one of Nani Sakaja ni mtoto wao, so that can complicate things for Babu Owino.
Yeah, Babu Owino is a Nairobian. He has lived in Nairobi. He knows what Nairobi is all about. And remember, Sakaja too is somebody who is born and bred in Nairobi, so he knows Nairobi well. Yeah,
Yeah, if I was him, I would stay Embakasi. Because akikosa hiyo nio.
Because another thing that you have to consider, for him to go for that governorship, with whatever party he wants, he usually, in terms of political party, he usually doesn't have a say,
Okay. Yeah.
So that one will also play a big part. Let's say if, for instance, we have Tim Wanyonyi, if the party feels like Tim Wanyonyi is mature than Babu in terms of Nairobi politics, and they decide to support Wanyonyi.
Oh, that one has been sorted out. I was just saying it yesterday, because now Wanyonyi is going to run in Bungoma for governorship. You didn't hear that?
But
to make way for, because remember when Nani was speaking, we talked about this when Raila was speaking, and at first he said that, remember when he said that I'm sorry because last time I had to ask Wanyonyi to step down from the governorship so the Igathe can run against Sakaja, sindio? Then everyone started asking, okay, so if he's embracing Wanyonyi for governorship in 2027, where does that leave Babu Owino? And I even said in one of my videos that, this is not the final say. And just last week, I saw now Team Wanyonyi is going to run for governorship in Bungoma.
Okay, that's okay because that is his native home. But
Right.
something that you have also to understand, when you look at Ford Kenya, for the longest time, if you're very keen when you're looking at the Bungoma politics, yep, ever since maybe the Ford Kenya, I don't know whether there's a day that ODM has won in Bungoma, especially the Ford Kenya area.
Who's the current Bungoma governor? I'm not sure who is it.
The former speaker for Senate, Ken Lusaka.
Oh, he is.
And remember, he defeated this guy who was doing a very good job. He's called who? I forgot his name.
What party was he? ODM?
No, I don't think he was ODM. He was maybe DPK. He was New Ford Kenya. He was called who? The former governor. He used to do a good job. Even Ken Lusaka is doing. I know his name. He's just forgetting. So when you look at Ford Kenya, even look at even when Ford Kenya, Moses Wetangula was in coalition with Bab. The entire that area gave it all to Baba. And it happened when Moses went to work with the UDA. They gave it 100%. So sometimes, even though Wanyonyi might be coming from his homeland, might be in Bungoma.
Yeah.
But how does he resonate with the people on the ground? Especially in Bungoma. Because remember, especially when you come to local politics, people tend to cherish their homemade parties.
Yes. Watamwona is huyo ni mtu wa Nairobi.
Huyu ni mtu wa Nairobi tena nakuja na ODM. Unaona? Kwani umeona mtu wa Ford Kenya mgani amesimama huko na akapata? Si lazima tutunze yetu.
Yes.
So like Nairobi is a cosmopolitan, is in ODM cut across.
Yeah.
And the Nairobi, if the Azimio coalition stick together until 2027, there will be a give and take. Yeah, let's take the governor, we give you this. If only they stay together, then they will that be buyout.
But yeah, it also depends with how Kenya Kwanza performs, because if that coalition in Bungoma, if people feel like, or whoever the governor is now, is it Lusaka or whatever?
Lusaka.
Yeah, if they feel like he's not performing, Team Wanyonyi might have a chance.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that, but like even remember Ken Lusaka came way much late in the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nairobi, hey, this Nani Babu Owino versus Sakaja, that is the final. You're in the World Cup finals. I want to watch that.
Yeah, very young people.
Exactly.
That would be good, but like they are all Nairobians. They are all the street boys. They know what it takes.
In fact, they started fighting. Was it a few months ago? Walianza kuchochana.
Lazima uchoche ndio ujulikane. Babu Owino hawezi simama, lazima achoche. Unaona? Sometimes you cannot wait to be given.
That's true.
You have to go for it. There's a upper hand in trying.
Yes.
Rather than just sitting behind and say, okay, let's wait and see what will happen, and I'm waiting them to give it for me.
Yeah.
And remember, do you know Babu Owino when he was starting his political career? Do you know he was in Westlands?
Really?
Yeah. Look, Babu Owino started his. He wanted to run for parliamentary seat for Westlands, and alikatazwa. Look, that guy.
I thought Babu Owino was from Kondele.
Yeah, he's from Kondele, but when he came from the university, the first place that he tried was to be in a Westland MP.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Ask somebody about Babu Owino, and that was when he was competing with Wanyonyi until he was told.
Tulize boli.
And I think he went and alifell properly, ndio sasa akaenda huko. Hakuanza na huko Embakasi, alianza na Westlands.
Okay. We shall find about that is our next aim. I'm going to DM him. I'm going to
Eh,
Babu
le,
Owino kuja kwa
eh,
show.
ah,
Use your connection bwana. Wewe ndio uko na connection huko unapata watu. Sijui unatumia
najaribu nikimpata. I know a friend who is
a
very
friend of a
close.
friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a friend of mine who is
So
very
who's the
close.
next guest on your show?
Yeah, because like now there's some unavoidable circumstances with Wakili. There's a young lady from Nyeri, I mean Nyeri. She'll be coming to the show tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just want to talk about politics for the youth and even the Mount Kenya. What is the direction for Mount Kenya, especially with the young people?
Yeah, because they're also
Yes.
split there. But yes, okay. Well, Benson, brother Benson, thank you very much as always.
Thank you so much, my brother, for letting me in too, so
No
that we can have a
problem.
discussion.
Anytime. Na Babu Owino akikupigia simu niambie.
Sawa.
Haya.
Okay.
Shukran. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an hour. I would like to personally thank Brother Benson for his appearance. He made the show lively. Sometimes I get in here and, so I would like to thank him. And please visit his channel. His name is Brother Benson. He has very interesting interviews, wonderful people, young leaders, people who are prominent in the society in Kenya. So check out his channel, follow him, subscribe, share, like as well. Share, like, comment on this channel, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. I have no more things to say. I will see you guys tomorrow and we shall talk more politics. Or should I say politics? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, this is Kenya Revolutionary. I will talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings.